When you can't make it to City Hall or the school board meetings, local journalists from Duluth News-Tribune will be there to report the facts and get your questions answered. Local news works for you. Stay up to date at DuluthNewsTribune.com.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Wednesday, September 4th. I'm Wyatt Buckner, the Duluth News-Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. A woman's life may have been saved when she tripped while trying to run away from a shooter last week. Court documents indicate that Landon Terrence Tumala, 22, admitted he was trying to kill his father's girlfriend when he fired a rifle at their Aurora home on the evening of August 26th. Tumala initially believed he may have been successful, a criminal complaint states, but the victim's well-timed fall left her with only a scraped knee. Tumala was arraigned last week in state district court on felony counts of attempted intentional second-degree murder, second-degree assault, and endangering safety with the intentional discharge of a firearm. The incident was reported just before 7 p.m. at the residence on East 3rd Street. Tumala allegedly called 911, saying he had just shot someone but no longer had the gun. Another caller said a woman was outside screaming to call 911. East Range Police Department officers arrived minutes later and Tumala exited the house with his hands up. He reportedly told officers the woman he had shot ran away. Meanwhile, officers found the 54-year-old woman in a nearby pickup, having been ushered to safety by two witnesses who heard a loud noise followed by her screams. The complaint says the woman was visibly upset and shaking. She reported that she had just entered the residence when she saw Tumala pointing a long gun at her. She tripped while attempting to flee and the bullet sailed over her. A bullet hole was found in the siding of the neighboring house. In a statement, Tumala allegedly admitted he used a rifle with the intent to kill his father's girlfriend. The weapon, equipped with a scope, was seized with the spent shell casing found in the chamber. In a follow-up interview with the woman, police said they learned that Tumala had moved in about a month earlier after being kicked out of 2 treatment facilities. Tumala was previously arrested in July 2023 after reportedly threatening other family members, a neighbor, and responding law enforcement officers in Bowabic. His mother and stepfather said at the time that they did not want him back in their house because they did not feel safe and believed he would kill himself or others, according to court documents. Judge Andrew Peterson granted Peterson's request to set unconditional bail at $750,000 while denying any supervised release options. Tumala remained in custody Monday. He was scheduled to appear in court again today on the new charges and a probation violation stemming from the 2023 case. Vice President Kamala Harris said U.S. Steel should remain an American-owned company, announcing her opposition to the company's pending sale to Japanese steelmaker Nippon Steel. In a Labor Day speech in Pittsburgh, the Democratic nominee for president said she, quote, will always have the backs of American steelworkers, end quote. The announcement was greeted with applause by the crowd. Pittsburgh is home to U.S. Steel and the United Steelworkers, the union representing the company's workforce at steel mills nationwide, and its iron ore mines and pellet plants in Minnesota. Harris's opponent, former President Donald Trump, is also opposed upon buying Pittsburgh-based U.S. Steel. The U.S. Department of Justice launched an antitrust investigation in April into Nippon's planned $14.1 billion takeover of U.S. Steel. While the steelworkers have forcefully opposed the U.S. Steel-Nippon deal and endorsed Harris and Trump are courting rank-and-file members in key battleground states like Pennsylvania and Michigan. In a text message to union members Monday, the United Steelworkers said it welcomed Harris's announcement. The position of Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, is less clear. Presumably, he shares Harris's position, but he's never explicitly weighed in. As governor, he holds no regulatory power over the deal. Nippon Steel Vice Chairman Takahiro Mori said in an interview with Reuters last month that Walz offered his support for the deal when the two met privately in June. Speaking in front of a crowd that included U.S. Steel and Nippon officials at a May event celebrating U.S. Steel's opening of a $150 million direct reduced-grade pellet plant in Keewatin, Walz did not address the pending sale. Ahead of the event, Walz met privately with U.S. Steel CEO Dave Burritt, but in May, Burt declined to share what the two had discussed and said he appreciated the governor's support of the Keetac project. In response to questions about Walz's position, Claire Lancaster, a spokesperson for the governor's office, said in a statement to the News Tribune after the event in May, and repeated again on Tuesday, that Walz's, quote, top priority is to create and maintain good-paying union jobs on the Iron Range, end quote. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to the News Tribune's Northlandia podcast.
Good morning. Today's forecast for the Duluth region, mostly sunny, warm and windy today. Winds mostly out of the southwest, around 15 miles an hour or so. And we may get some gusts as high as 25 or 30 during the day. Slight chance of showers developing this evening. Better chance overnight tonight. They'll be fairly scattered, but a fair chance of rain. Overnight lows dropping down to around 60 or so as the wind goes southerly at around 5 to 15. Again, a few higher gusts. Tomorrow that wind goes around to the northwest and temperatures will cool a bit to a high near 70. Much cooler weather with a high near 60 on Friday.
Thank you to the Northlandia podcast for their support. The bi-weekly podcast explores curious and unique stories here in the Northland. The latest episode explores the long-abandoned Hermantown property home to over 1,000 buried pets. You can find that episode and others at DuluthNewsTribune.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Tom Olson and Jimmy Loverin. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.